For those of you who don't know, hopefully you do, Persepolis was the capital of the Persian Empire. Located in Iran, the city was founded in 1518 BCE and built over a period of around about 60 years under the three kings Darius the Great, Xerxes I, and Artaxerxes I, in which it was intended to be something that the world had never seen before. I will be talking about how Persepolis was a multifunctional city serving social, economic, and political functions. In this relief, Farnese II touches his lips with his hand as a part of a social ritual called Prosokinesis, the greeting of the king. The king in this case, sitting on the throne, is King Darius, and behind him the crown prince Xerxes. The relief was commissioned by Darius during his reign for the purpose of preserving the important customary ritual for Xerxes, the crown prince, and other future kings to follow. Preserving the ritual was so important to Darius that he had multiple Prosokinesis reliefs commissioned all around the city, reminding visitors on how to greet the king. This source is one example which contributes to Persepolis being a socially important city that strives to preserve the social rituals and culture of ancient Persia. In the Treasury building of Persepolis, there are 103 clay tablets written in cuneiform script. A translated example says, "To Shaka the treasurer, Budkama declares that Herdkama, the Egyptian, who was chief of a team of 100 laborers, and is entitled to 3 askarad, and 2.5 shekels of silver as his wage. These laborers are working on behalf of Udkana of Parsa, Persepolis, written by Abdoka." These tablets were commissioned by Darius the Great for the purpose of entitling payments for trades and taxes of silver. After visiting the king in the Apadhana, the traders and tributers would receive one of the tablets, the ancient Persian equivalent of a modern accounting receipt. After these arrangements, the silver would be put into the treasury, a massive building and a feat of ancient engineering, being more than 10,500 square meters in size. The treasury tablets in the treasury building show that the city of Persepolis served a highly effective economical function. In and around the building called the Apadhana, there are countless reliefs of foreign people from all over the empire bringing gifts in the form of weapons and livestock, among other items, for the king. Some of these reliefs depict a diverse range of ethnic groups, each with certain gifts from their respective homelands. For example, Indians brought spices, Babylonians brought carpets, Greeks brought pottery, and many more examples. This supports Persepolis being a multicultural society, as well as supporting the fact that it is also an economic one. People came to Persepolis to trade, but most commonly came to pay tribute to the king. By acquiring all these usually inaccessible items, Persians were able to trade with other empires or have an upper hand in gaining more resources, thus making them very effective at this particular function. The following text is written in Persian cuneiform and is located above the Gate of All Nations. The inscriptions shown are recorded quotations from King Xerxes' monument. The inscriptions are from his point of view, talking about his birthright, heritage, and his accomplishments of building Persepolis. The monument was located at the Gate of All Nations because the king wanted everyone to see his might due to the fact that the Gate of All Nations was the main exit and entrance into and out of the city. May Aramazda preserve me, my kingdom, what has been built by me and what has been built by my father. That indeed may Aramazda preserve. In this segment of script, Xerxes asks Aramazda, his god, for his right to rule as a political leader and remember him internally for his accomplishments. Source 4 shows how the king displayed his political significance by asking the permission of his god to preserve his kingdom for all time. Source 5 was made between 465 and 424 BCE and can be found outside of the ruins of the Great Hall, also known as the Hall of 1,000 Columns. This source, a relief, that depicts King Xerxes upon a throne. Above him, a bird-like figure called Ahura Mazda, the Persian god. Below Xerxes, however, are rows of people holding him and his throne off the ground. This is a metaphorical display of the caste system of ancient Persia, which is very similar to what would become the medieval caste system. There is a god on top, under him a king or queen, and under them common folk. This source could also represent Xerxes' recent invasion and successful conquest of Athens, due to it being made after the invasion, with the people of the newly conquered territory now serving under him. This source serves as a political function, showing the hierarchy of the people. In conclusion, I believe that Persepolis was multifunctional, serving as a social hotspot, an economic stronghold, and a political powerhouse.